Hello and welcome to the Better Late Than Never podcast with me, your host, Burt Green. I'm just kidding. This is the Casuals guide for UFC Vegas, not UFC Vegas, UFC 297, headlined by Sean Strickland defending his middleweight title against Dricus du Plessis. And I do understand and appreciate this is a very late video. It's a very late picks video. I usually get them done during the week. I haven't done that. I fumbled the bag, as they like to say whenever Ngannou boxes anyone these days. I don't know. Either way, look, I've been busy. What can I say? If you're new to this video, then this is a casuals guide. What I like to do is spend 15 to 20 minutes previewing the entire card from start to finish, the earliest prelim all the way up to the main event, quick hit style, because I'll get it wrapped up in 15 to 20 minutes because I understand that you have places to be, you have plans, and you don't want to spend 3 hours listening to a podcast to get roughly the same amount of information. It's not as in-depth as some of the other ones, but also you've got things to do. I've got to go clean my car later. You know, we've all got stuff to do. So without further ado, let's have a look at UFC 297. Starting off with Malcolm Gordon versus Jimmy Flick in the 125-pound division. They're both 5'7", 3-inch reach for Gordon. Gordon's well-rounded. He's got 5 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's only won 2 in the UFC, though. Flick is 1 and 2 in the UFC, but he does have 14 submissions on 16 wins, so it's no secret what he's going to be going for. I'm going to take a Flick submission in that one. Jasmine Jasudavicius, 9 and 3, Canadian. Priscilla Cachoeira, 12 and 5 out of Brazil, 125-pound ladies. 5'7", plays 5'7", 3-inch reach for Jasudavicius. Jasudavicius, she's a good all-rounder. She likes to outpoint her opponents usually. She did get a good win over Miranda Maverick, who I quite rate, so that's it. That was a good win there. Cachoeira, she likes to stand ordinarily. She has good power, 7 knockouts, but she did lose to Miranda Maverick, which is their opponent in common. I'll roll the dice on the power as I often do. I'm going to take Cachoeira by knockout in that one. Johan Lenesi, 9 and 2, Canadian, taking on Sam Patterson, 10, 2 and 1, fighting out the UK, 170-pound welterweight division. 5'11", plays 6'3". That's very tall for 170, really is. 2.5-inch reach for Patterson as well, so he's got the height and the reach. Lenesi likes to stand. He's good on the regional scene. He's looked less impressive in the UFC, as often is the case. Patterson's a really exciting prospect, fighting out of the UK. 10 wins, 9 finishes, 5 submissions, 4 knockouts. He has been KO'd both of his losses, though. I will go with Patterson here, just because I'm very biased towards the UK fighters, and he probably has more ways to win. I'll go for the knockout just to even up the record 5 and 5. That was the early prelims. This is now the prelims. If you're enjoying the content, hit subscribe. That's all I'll say. Jillian Robertson, 12 and 8, taking on Poliana Viana, 13 and 6 out of Brazil. Canadian versus Brazil again. Ladies strawweight. So 5'5", plays 5'5", got a 4-inch reach for Poliana Viana. Robertson, she's an excellent fighter. She really is. She's got a black belt under Din Thomas. She's got a really crushing top game. That's what she's really good at. If she gets top position, she will crush you, and she'll usually get the submission. However, on the feet, she can be a step behind, honestly, and she can often get overtaken, overwhelmed. Poliana Viana, she is first team all body. She is goddamn beautiful. She's a little bit older than Robertson, which is really weird because it doesn't look that way. Anyway, she's a finisher, is what I will say. She's finished all 13 of her wins. She has been submitted twice, which could be a problem when you're fighting somebody who is as good on the ground as Robertson. I think Robertson gets top position, probably gets a head and arm choke. Robertson for submission, but for me, yeah. Sergey Saidi, 10 and 1 out of the Ukraine, taking on Roman Tavares out of the USA, 135-pound bantamweights. 5'11", plays 5'8", with a 2-inch reach for Saidi. Saidi is a killer. He really is. He's 10 wins, 7 knockouts. Look, he's really good. He's got good straight punches. He punches straight down the pipe really nicely. I like that. Tavares is also very capable. He's very strong in round 1, especially when you look at the stats. This one's a pretty easy one. It's a rematch. They fought before, and Saidi won that one. He's also younger, so he wins this one quicker. Round 1 early, because he did win in round 1 previously. So same result again. Charles Jourdain, 15-6-1 out of Canada versus Sean Woodson, 10-1-1 out of the US and A. 145-pound featherweight division. 5'9", plays 6'2", with 9-inch reach for Woodson. He's got a weird frame, man, but it's effective. Jourdain is well-rounded. He's got decent boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's solid in every area, honestly. His grappling is really well put together. His MMA grappling especially, because it is a different thing. Now, Woodson, he's a weird style to train for, man. He's all torso and arms. He's got very long arms. He uses his reach really, really well. He usually stays out of range and does damage on the outside. Good grappling as well. He's really well versed off his back. Jourdain, in theory, is better in every area, but this is a weird one. It's a weird one. I could see an upset here, but I will take Charles Jourdain in that one. Bracatona, 15-2 out of Canada. Garrett Armfield, 9-3, 135-pound division. You've got 5'6", playing 5'6", 5.5-inch reach for Armfield. He's got arms field. I don't know. There's a joke there somewhere. I don't have it in me. Katona, who was on the latest series of The Ultimate Fighter, he's actually the only fighter in history to win The Ultimate Fighter twice. He won the initial, I think it's featherweight. He won a normal season at featherweight, and this one was like a second chances show and he won that one as well. It trains with McGregor, I think, trains out of SBG. He's really good, very well rounded, very good takedowns. He's got BJJ black belt and he's very busy on the ground. He uses his control effectively, is what I would say. Armfield has very good hands, very good arms. Armfield, he's coming off a knockout win. He's not had a huge amount of UFC experience, is what I would say. Katona's definitely got the experience against the higher level competition, which is why I'm taking Katona in that one. Then we move on to the main card. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. Like I said, I do videos very often. Hit subscribe and hit the bell notification, then you'll see the videos as they come up. But I look at the NFL, mixed martial arts. I do stand-up comedy, so I sometimes drop videos relating to that as well. It's a good time. It's a good time. It's easy watching. It's just hit subscribe. Anyway. Arnold Allen versus Mosvar Evloev kicks off the main card, 145-pound division. So it's England versus Russia, this one. Now, 5'8", playing 5'7", 2.5-inch reach for Evloev. Now, Allen, he's just good everywhere. He's a very good all-rounder. He's tough as old boots. He's got good straight punches. He uses his reach well, good front kicks. He uses the front kick to measure range really nicely. He's got decent grappling. He fell behind against Max Holloway, but that's against Max Holloway. Unfortunately, once you start fighting those kind of dudes, you don't get any more easy fights. You just don't. And that brings me to Evloev. It's a tough one. He's a monster. He's 17-0. He's a master of sport in Greco-Roman wrestling. He's got relentless chain wrestling. He just is grapple heavy. He doesn't get a lot of finishes. 7 UFC wins, all of them decisions. So look, he controls really well. Is he the most exciting to watch? No. Is he effective? Yes. And this is a very tough fight for Arnold Allen. I don't want to see Arnold Allen just taken down and controlled for 3 rounds. But I've got a funny feeling that's what's going to happen. I hope Arnold Allen proves me wrong here, and I would love to see Allen just get a knockout in the second round. It would be lovely. Nothing would make me happier, but my pick has to be who I think is going to probably win, and I just think it's going to be another pretty dull decision for Evloev. I think he's going to go 18-0. Chris Curtis taking on Marc-Andre Barriault, USA versus Canada. You've got 185 pounders. So 5'10", plays 6'1", 5-inch reach for Curtis, which is a bit weird. He's the shorter guy. Curtis is a Strickland sparring partner. This is why his timing is very, very good. It does show. He's got great boxing, brilliant footwork. He's defensively brilliant. He's so good at kind of just rolling with the punches and just not taking the full brunt of the shots that are coming in. He falls short against the really high-level guys like your Gastelums, your Hermansons, but against everyone else, he looks pretty good and usually gets the knockout. Barriault, he's a lump. He plants his feet. He throws heavy. 10 of 16 by knockout. He's very, very physical. He's very difficult to move around. Now, for me, this is pretty easy. Barriault has got the power advantage. That's pretty obvious. But Curtis is going to have much better footwork, and I think that is going to be the difference maker here. I think Curtis moves around him and pieces him up and gets a late stoppage. I think that one's fight of the night, in all honesty. Fight of the night prediction for that one. Neil Magny taking on Mike Malott, 170 pounds, welterweights, 6'3", plays 6'1", with a 7-inch reach for Neil Magny. Now Magny, he's been around forever. Like, he's a friend of the show. I met him at UFC Fight Night 90. Lovely guy, absolutely lovely guy. He's long. He uses his reach really well. His front kicks are very, very good. He's similar to Arnold Allen in a lot of ways, honestly. Just the way he uses the footwork and the front kick as a range finder. It's pretty nice. Anyway. He's got good straight punches, he's got cardio for days, he's got a very good guillotine, so you do need to watch how you enter into takedowns when you fight Neil Magny, honestly. Now, Mike Malott, he's a scary dude, honestly. 10 wins, 10 finishes. His only loss was at featherweight, and it was bloody ages ago. Since then, he has looked outstanding. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, he's very good at neck attacks, guillotines, rear naked chokes. He is so good with those techniques. As much as I want Neil Magny to win, he is no longer in the peak of his career. I think he's gone past that. Mike Malott is so aggressive. He's really aggressive. I think he gets the grappling going, and I think that's where he has a huge advantage, and I think we're going to see a submission for Mike Malott in that one. Then you've got the co-main event. Raquel Pennington taking on Mayra Bueno Silva, 135 pound ladies. 5'7", plays 5'6", with a 1.5-inch reach for Pennington. Pennington is very, very good. She's good in every area. Is she elite in any area? No, I wouldn't say that she is. However, she is an expert in doing enough to get ahead on the scorecards and just outworking her opponents and breaking their spirit. And it's a good style. She's really, really, she's a tough fight for anyone, Raquel Pennington. Bueno Silva, however, is an absolute monster. She will take your arm or leg off. She's done that to her last 3 opponents. Obviously, her last win got overturned because of I don't know, she failed a drug test. I don't know what it was for. It was some sort of medication, she reckoned. Either way, she failed it. So, but let's be real. She's on a 3-fight submission streak, because she's just taking people's arms off left and right. She really likes to get a hold of a limb. She's a knee bar specialist, arm bar specialist. That's generally what she'll go for, and that's what I think is going to happen in this fight. I could see Bueno Silva taking an arm or a leg, and I think she gets the submission in this one. Then you've got the main event. Sean Strickland taking on Dricus du Plessis. Sean Strickland obviously defending his middleweight title. 6'1", they're both 6'1", they're both 76-inch reach. This is a very even fight, kind of. They are differently built, though, I would say that. So Strickland, he's a cardio machine. He spars daily. He spars 5 hours a day. It's ridiculous. And because of that, his timing is elite. His volume is elite. His defense is elite. His takedown defense is elite. 85% takedown defense. He's so difficult to take down. Sean Strickland is so much better than people give him credit for, and he's a very worthy champion. He's going to be a very tough fight for anybody in that division. He's able to just overwhelm people with just a relentless pace. And he could do 20 rounds if he wanted to. Like, he doesn't even really work up. He's never looked tired in there. He's really excellent. Dricus, he's very big. He's very physical. He's a much more physical stature than Strickland. He really is a very physical guy. He's extremely strong. His cardio is not as bad as people think. Now, a lot of people... Because the thing is, will it be as good as Sean's? No. But is it as bad as people think? Also, no. He's going to have the strength and the power advantage. He's got a very awkward, difficult style. He's difficult to time because he doesn't really throw conventionally. So it's difficult to track where the strikes are going to be coming from. That's what Robert Whittaker had a problem with. He couldn't really time where the shots were coming from. And then he was getting hit. And du Plessis hits hard. He's a big dude. He's very physical. He's extremely strong. He hits very, very hard. Now, a lot of people are writing Dricus off due to the cardio because they point to the fight with Derek Brunson, the fight with Darren Till, where, yeah, okay, he looked like he was tired, but he had an issue in those fights. He had a real problem with his nose, and it was something that he'd always had. He was. There were a lot of his training partners said, no, that's what he does in sparring. He's not tired. He's just breathing out of his mouth because he can't breathe through his nose. He had a surgery to fix that, and then he beat the brakes off of Robert Whittaker. So, look, is Dricus going to have as good a cardio as Sean Strickland? No, probably not. Nobody does. But is his cardio going to be as detrimental as people think it is? I don't think so either. It's not like he's going to keel over. Some people are thinking he's just going to gasp in the third round and just keel over and die. I don't think that's going to happen either. Also, not for nothing, Dricus doesn't need this to go 5 rounds. Dricus is a finisher. He is a finisher. I think he's gone to a decision once in his career. Once. Out of 20 wins, he's gone to a decision once. He's a finisher because he likes to grab a hold of people and do damage. And he does do damage as well. People are writing Du Plessis off. A lot of the pundits are. And I just... Look, I'm not overlooking Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland is fantastic, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Sean Strickland win. I'm a big fan of both of these guys, honestly. But if it goes... Right, Sean Strickland needs this to go 5 rounds. That's how he wins this fight. I don't think that he gets Dricus out of there necessarily. Watch him get the finish now. Now that I've said that, just to piss me off. Anyway, but generally speaking, Sean Strickland will overwhelm people over the course of a 5-round fight and maybe get a finish very late. But Strickland needs to drag this out and turn it into like a volume heavy, like marathon, but at his pace. Dricus doesn't need this to go 5 rounds. He just needs to get a hold of Strickland. He just needs to get a hold of Strickland, use his weight, use his physicality, get him down to the floor most likely, and use his ground and pound and use his get in his face and make it ugly. And he does that so well. Strickland has made a career off being able to time people, being able to kind of predict where the shots are coming from. But Dricus is so unusual, I think that's going to be more difficult than people think it's going to be. Because Strickland, he spars, every day. Does he have training partners that can replicate Dricus' style? I don't know. He might, but that remains to be seen, doesn't it? Because it is a very unique style. Very unique to Dricus Du Plessis. For me, all that being said, I am going with Dricus in this one. I just think that Dricus is going to be too physical. He's going to get in there. And when Dricus lands, Sean Strickland is going to land on Dricus. But I don't think it's going to be... I think he's going to walk through a lot of those shots. Because, look, Strickland isn't known for that one-punch knockout power. He just isn't. Dricus, when he will hit Sean, and I think that the impact is going to be far greater. And for that... And if it goes to the ground, he's so strong. Dricus is so unbelievably strong. That's the comment that you hear from all of his opponents. They also comment on how bloody strong he is. I think that if he drags, if he knocks Strickland down, if he drags down a takedown, he's going to use his physicality. He's going to make it ugly. I think that he gets a TKO in round number 3. I've put my money on that. I managed to get 18-1. Only put £1 on because I'm not an idiot. I have also bet heavier on this than I normally would. I have 20 quid on Dricus just to win straight up. Just to win by knockout TKO. So you're getting 3-1 on that. I quite like that bet. That's the absolute maximum I'm willing to, because I'm not a big gambler. I like small gambling, keeping the odds long and the bet's terrible. But yeah, if you look at, I might as well do the bets now, just because I'm not going to do a separate video for them. Yeah, so doing all of my picks, so that's Kuchera, Patterson, Robertson, Side, Jourdain, Katona, Evloev, Curtis, Malott, Silva, Du Plessis and Jimmy Flick all to win. You are getting 945-1 on that, so that is worth £1. And I've also gone with a treble, Chris Curtis to win by KO TKO, Mike Malott by submission, and Dricus TKO stoppage in the third, and you're getting 139-1 on that. So yeah, overall, I'm going to lose about 25 quid on tonight's event, which is more than I'd normally bet, and I don't advocate doing that. But I did like the odds on the Dricus TKO, and I do think that it's likely to happen. But as with a lot of my picks, it's difficult to predict MMA. Anything can happen. And look, Sean Strickland is as good as they get at the moment. He really is, and I'm looking forward to the fight. I really, really am. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the fight as well. Until next time, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.